Hey there guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. I apologize for the delay on this part. Some stuff came up, life and everything. I like to call this part the Iaijutsu part. So for those of you who don't know, Iaijutsu is like, you know, an anime where they have like this sheathed katana and then they like step forward and then you just see them click it back in place and there's like 1,000 cuts and everything. That's because this part is super cut to pieces. Specifically for this puzzle, I had trouble with this puzzle when I first tried it. What you have to do is, in these libraries, there are a bunch of books. So for example, we're in the scientific library right now, and what you need to look for is you need to look for the book that does not make sense to be in that section. So, you know, if you're in military and it starts going on about Genova, or if you're in science and it starts going on about, you know, not sciencey stuff. So you can hear there's a bit of a cut of the audio there. And then what you want to do is you want to find the number with it, and then take that number. So this is urban development research. So you want to look for anything that's urban development related. City planning, that makes sense. Midgar city map sectors, that makes sense. New plans for urban environment, problems with plate construction, all these make sense. Biological characteristics of the ancients, not what you want. So what you want to do is you see the number 1 there, you take the first letter of what it is, so B, and that's going to be part of the solution for the password, which we haven't got yet, but there's a guy in the other room who's like, I need to know the password for what's going on here. So, there's actually many different choices, and I think there's many different versions you can get of this puzzle. So this is scientific research, so which of these doesn't make sense? Experimental animals? Yeah, it makes like a bit of sense for experimental research. Dr. Gas, biologist. Ancients in history? Maybe. I'm not sure still. When I was doing this, I think I got 3, because it's a 4-letter password. It's, you know, it's not very secure, let's say that. And it's going to be a 4-letter word, and what you want to do is, you know, you want to find the ones that, you know, make sense. This is the military stuff, like where's going to be, you know, make a weaponry, makes sense. Peacekeeping law. But the one that doesn't make sense is, I think, the space one. I'm not sure at this point. I just totally went through and, used a guide for this, I'm going to be super honest. Mostly because, again, this is a section that you can potentially screw up. You do not want to do this and not get the item because you're not going to get it. I think it was the space program is the one. So you have to count 16 letters to find what the letter is that you're going to use. And I remember, because I didn't know if space is counted, I actually put both of them. And, you know, you want to try and get the password. And if you only get 3 of the 4, you can still probably figure it out, you know? So, for instance, this is the space development. So now you know, like, yeah, the space one in that other room is in the wrong place. Making sense of the space program. Mako energy and the planet's movements. Maybe that's one. Breakdown of soldiers' members by class. It doesn't even make sense. So the letters we got were B and B and M. So, you might be like, what could it be? Well, the only one that makes sense for the actual answer is, of course, bomb, which I like that I got it. You know, that's a classic Final Fantasy enemy. So, and you can hear the music cutting. I was spending lots of time looking for stuff, you know. So we talked to this guy, this heart dude. It's the mayor, actually, but of course, being the mayor of Midgar doesn't really mean anything because how the city's run. You know, he's a figurehead for sure. So, we need the password to get the key card. If we don't get this, he says get it right on the first try, I'll give you an item. So, you want to get that item, of course. So, the password is bomb. Bomb! Yes, I love the sound of that bomb. I'm so angry, I'm like a walking time bomb. Oh, he's not happy. So, we got the key card to the next floor, and since we got on the first try, we get an elemental materia. Now, elemental is one of those materia that's really for experimenting with stuff. It's like, it's one of those, once you know how to play the game, you're gonna do a lot better. So if you equip it as what it does is it adds the materia element to the weapon or armor. So we have a fire equipped with our knuckle, and what that would do is it would make it so that our attacks are fire elemental, but it has to be linked. You know, it doesn't work on its own. And otherwise, what you could do is you could do it on your armor, and I think it makes it resist your armor, not reflect or absorb. I could be wrong about that. But that's definitely one of those things where if you, say, perhaps have a boss coming up who you know is weak to an element, put it on it. But you gotta be careful, because if you put it on your weapon, and it's a weapon that you know isn't gonna be effective, you know, you could go into a boss fight and hit it and start healing him, you know? So I got to a point where every single floor I would pause it for about a half hour and read up in the guide on what to do. So this room is interesting in that you can only open the doors 3 times, I think, if I recall. You go and start a switch, and then you can make 3 movements, and you want to get all the items, and then you can actually go and, I think, sell them? You get item coupons, which you can exchange for items. So what you want to do is you can open up 3 doors, and the 3, of course, at this point, I am straight up using a map. And I don't feel like, for a game like this, it's a bad thing, you know? I feel like it's fine. For other games, I could see why people wouldn't like it as much, you know, but I feel like it's not a big deal. For me, it's areas that you don't come back to. That's where my problem is. So you got a coupon, and you want to try to get all the coupons, because that way you can get all the items, which again, you won't get them. If I think you might be able to come back and get them later. As of this point, I haven't actually played up to the return to Midgar, so I don't know the extent of what you can do. Also in this area, I'm like just crawling, and I'm like, I could very easily just press the 3 times run button and make it easier, but at the same time, I'm like, but people might not like me being such a cheater, you know, so, but it's okay, but I did it anyways. I lied, I don't know, I don't remember my thought process. We got item coupon B, and then we only have 1 left, which is right here. So like, this is the only path, you know, you get here, you get it, and then I think if you click on the next one, it will reset them and send you back. If I'm correct? No, I am incorrect. Can't press them at all. And I don't think you can reset. I think you can reset them, but it might remove your items. Regardless, you have to do it a certain way. You know, you want to get that certain thing, and then you come over here, hand in the items. Enter the command. You want to go coupon change to do it, and then you can do the all clear. So we can get star pendant, 4 slots, and all materia. Now, you know, once you've exchanged them, you may not select all clear. So yeah, we're going to exchange them. And we got star pendant, which is an equipable. We got 4 slot, which is a really nice equipable I think, armor. That gives you, of course, 4 slots, and then another all materia, and you want to collect all materia for a couple reasons. Not only is it really good for, like, you know, being able to use all, and it's against poison, which is really good for an upcoming boss fight. Wink, wink. And even though it has less defense, it is quite nice if you have a magic user, you know, you want to use, which we're not using here, of course. But if you want to go for a more magic-oriented character, which you totally can, that's the beauty of the variable nature of these characters. You can do that. So you can equip that, and it'll be good. But the good thing about the all materia is not only does it give you more abilities to, like, you know, hit multiple targets, and then when you level up, you'll hit more. Also, I totally forgot to cut this out. Lovely. Not only will you be able to hit for more, but as you level them up, which lets you hit for more with each time, it becomes the easiest and best way to get money in the game. Where what you do is literally the best way to make money is to sell all materias. Just grind them up, use all sorts of the AP grinding techniques that you have, get them up to max level and sell them, and you can make so much buck, you know? But this is just more of a resting area. There's not much. I don't think there's any actual puzzle here at all. You can get some items, I think, by going to the vending machines. Yeah, you can get a health drink. Why not? And it just steals your money because comedy. So you can take a nap here, which is nice, you know, get some rest. Thankfully, this game doesn't do the thing of, oh, you took a rest in the enemy headquarters and now you're in trouble, you know? I really don't like when games do that. I mean, mind you, there's been very few games that I know that have actually done that, but there have been some regardless. So, it's actually one of the tropes I love in games. It's like, you're in the enemy base, what do? Just have a nap in the enemy team's waiting room, you know? It's hilarious. But I think from here on out, there's only one more major puzzle, if I recall. But, you know, there's still some stuff. So these lockers here, you know, you want to check in them every time there's some type of locker in a game. You know, man, I think it was Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color. They had locker rooms like this, and I would always compulsively check them. So, okay, remember when he said that about a megaphone? Remember that. Because I'm sure some of you might know, because it's like, why would there be a megaphone in the locker? I mean, I don't know, maybe it's the team, I mean, the company cheerleaders, whatever. But no, later on, megaphones become more important items, so you'll have to see. So this floor here is it's a puzzle floor. And this one I did remember getting solved on my first playthrough. Because it was just, I was very confused. And also, yeah, no, sorry about the me waiting. It's always just me being like, I need to find out, you know, what to do here. So, this puzzle is actually super simple. It's not really difficult at all. It's just, you open up a chest and you get a Midgar part. So what do? You take the Midgar part and put it in the middle, because it's kind of hard to tell, but like this Midgar model, like, isn't complete, right? You know, it's missing bits. So you want to just insert the Midgar part, and it clicks in, and what happens is another box will open up. And that's it. You don't know which one it is, but it'll be one of them regardless. So you want to just keep going, and of course I'm trying to open up more, and it doesn't work, and instead I get an enemy with the swordfish, who I will beat up. And I left this in because A, I forgot, and B, it's fast, and it's nice to get some combat in. After the last few floors were quite non-combative, you know. So, let's head up and put it back in. It's really a simple puzzle, and honestly, it doesn't bother me too much. I'd rather a puzzle be, you know, more simple than one being crazy. Also, the funny thing is, you don't put a piece in for the Sector 6, because, you know, that's part of the plan, is to not have Sector 6 be how it is. This is a section where the fast forward function is a godsend. I mean, it doesn't up or down the encounter rate. It still reflects, like, naturally what it would be. It's nice. I feel like it's just a nice, you know, thing to add in. I'm looking around just for the next piece. I'm pretty sure, like, this is just a full mandatory puzzle, but it's not difficult. I don't know. I found like this is just it feels a bit like a time waster personally, but honestly, it's not bad. You got to do some stuff. So this dude here, we fought him before. Same deal, you know. I love the fast forward function for battles, though. It's just, that's one small, honestly easy to do addition that just fixes everything. And I got a Loco Weed, so I wanted to see what that is, and it uses confusion on all enemies. So that dude came into work, you know, was repairing everything, and he brought some Loco Weed. Can you believe that? On the job. How irresponsible. It's like that one job I had over the summer, a few, you know, it was last summer, where some dudes came in and were smoking up on the job. Don't do that. Makes you look like a bit of a fool. So by doing it, we get keycard 66. Now, of course, you know, you can, if you really wanted to, totally skip the floor, but I'm pretty sure that this floor is totally mandatory. I'm not sure. I'm doing them all. But I did, in my first playthrough, as I said, have no idea how to do all this. So I just ended up not doing any of it, and just rushed through this building as fast as possible. Which, of course, is not what you want to do. Now here, I was really worried that this place was all stealth-oriented, but thankfully it's not. What you can do is go into the toilets, and you can flush it, and it does nothing. But I will add that to the list of games where you can flush the toilet, because that is a Wikipedia article I would curate and love to do. But of course, it wouldn't be an infiltration section without looking through and, you know, watching through a way too big ventilation system. I love when the Mythbusters tested this and they discovered that actually crawling through vents is so loud that you would not be able to, like, it wouldn't be secretive at all, you know? So that's great. That's good. You sound like dunk, 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 and you're climbing through. It's hilarious. Also, Palmer here is a bit of a weirdie. You know, like, I do like how they did really want to make all the these head executive officer dudes who, honestly, I think half of them share models, just recolored. They did really want to make them into interesting villains in terms of, you know, like how they're each part of different programs and stuff. You got space program guy, military program guy, you know, you got science division man right here. He's a lot of people know quite a bit about Hojo because he's interesting. But yes, it's this is where we're introduced to the pantheon of like bad guys. Hilariously, not the main bad guys, you know. Also, we're thinking of breeding her. Yep, so his first thought is, you know, Aerith isn't gonna survive long enough for all the tests we have to do for her, so let's just breed her. Now, on first thought, you might think, oh, that's just kind of a dirty old man thing, whatever. But as we'll see later, it's truly disturbing. Also, Scarlet knows we ate Taco Bell before we came. Sorry. So we gotta go follow them. Gotta go stop that plan. So you can press... I accidentally pressed forward and it comes back to this, and I have to just back out. Which, I would have no idea how you would be able to do that. Honestly, if I was stuck in a shaft like that and had to walk backwards, like, you know, on my arms and legs, or hands and knees, rather, I'd be freaked out. I don't know. I'm not bad with tight spaces, but that's something I just think about, and I'm just like, ugh, I don't know. Okay, this guy's having a bit of a power trip. Yeah, so as you get higher up, you're realizing these people are stopping being like, you know, also there's your hint that you can climb up in the bathroom. These people are like being less, you know, like, oh, this guy's not having a good day. I don't know what he was doing. I actually have no idea what joke that was meant to be. You know, like on the lower floors, you talk to people, and this is just their job. This is just a normal, everyday thing for them, and they're innocent, I would argue. You know, they're working their jobs, you know, and this guy's just having a sort of thing. I don't know. And I guess these are all meant to be hints of that you can go into the bathroom because, like, there's a smell that comes up from the bathroom, which admittedly is a terrible system. But yeah, no, as I was saying, as you go up in the levels, you start to realize more and more people become aware of what their job is, and because of that, they slowly become, you know, more and more villainous. I mean, of course, you go to the head guys, and of course they're villains, but, you know, you got others who are like, you're like, oh, they're not really as much villains, so... But yeah, no, it works up. But apparently Barrett remembers Hojo, which is, you know, science department. So yeah, they are, like, very much a sort of, you know, not to compare, but like an Elite Four Heavenly Kings system where it's, you know, you got the head guy, then you got each of the elite members under it, so... And it's funny, because when I first played this, I was really worried about talking to anyone or even being seen by them, because of course I was like, I don't want to get into any battles, you know? But no, I soon learned, like, this section is totally just, you're fine to go anywhere, you know, just up, down, anywhere, you're fine, you know? My, what a convenient number of prison cells, I sure hope we don't need to go here. You know, when they put extra attention to detail in something like that, it's going to become like a plot point, and if it doesn't, that's when rumors start, you know? I really find, like, for me, when you find something in an RPG that is like an empty room or a functionless thing, that's when I start to get worried and start to freak out. So, okay, so these enemies here, I see they're carrying, like, these swords, right? And my first thought is, if they're carrying a sword, I can steal their sword, you know? That's always my first thought whenever I play these games, is if there's an enemy that looks like it has a sword, if it resembles a sword, if it has a wooden stick, you know, then I should be able to steal it, you know? So the nice thing is, stealing in this version of the game is easier because of the fast forward function, where all you have to do is just set your one character to keep stealing and set the others to defend. And if you just keep doing that, eventually you'll get it, you know? It's simple as that. And it's not like grinding or anything where it's, you know, it's percentage based. He only has the one item, so you just gotta keep doing it. And there we go. We got the hard edge. that is, as of this point, the best weapon you can get for Cloud, because it's I don't think you can buy another weapon for Cloud up to this point, come to think of it. Because, I mean, yeah, Cloud is thematically, his weapon is tied to him, but gameplay-wise, you really don't need to keep it. In fact, you know, if you want to do a default weapon run of a Final Fantasy game, I mean, go ahead, but there's no real point to. I mean, the nice thing is, like, Cloud's Buster Weapon and Barrett's machine gun, you can't actually sell, because, you know, well, the Buster Sword has plot reasons. Barrett's machine gun is kind of his arm, so you can't really sell his arm, you know? So, Hard Edge, though, look at that. We, like, double our stats, double our slots. It's really good. Get the Hard Edge. It will give you a hard edge of advantage in this upcoming stuff. Okay, so straight up, what we're gonna see right away freaked me out when I first saw it as a kid. Like, I genuinely shuddered and was disturbed, you know? And it was funny, because, again, I didn't play Final Fantasy till much later, but I don't remember where I found it. I think, you know what it was? I think it was a Final Fantasy VII AMV. Do you guys remember those AMVs? I watched those. Those were weird. Also, Cloud, super spiky head. Like, I don't know. Maybe Hojo was actually blind. He looks like a blind man. But, like, just from looking there, he definitely, like, should have seen Cloud. You know, I don't know. I don't know about that. But there's some kind of pupper in here. We don't know what's going on with this pupper, but he's a pupper nonetheless. But this part right here freaked me out as a kid. It's, it has an eyeball nipple and no head. Now, it's only on screen very briefly, and I actually really appreciate the briefness of it because it's actually freakier. If you were to just, you know, see it, and were able to, like looking at pictures of it now, you know, like, if I were to put up a picture of it online, it'd be less scary. If I made it the thumbnail, it'd be less scary. But the fact that you see it so little, and what you see is like an eyeball, a couple breasts, and the fact that it has no head, you know, that's creepy. And I genuinely really like that. You can't look back into it, thankfully, but because I think it really preserves the scary nature of it. And that's good. I feel like an element of horror in games is always welcome. So here you're given a poison materia, which you know, you'd sort of think would let you poison, but instead it cures poison. It gives you poison cure. It doesn't give you bio, it gives you poisona, you know? So that's a bit confusing, I feel. It might be a bit confusing. The boss coming up, though, is poison elemental. So you see here, I actually made a dumb mistake, or did I? Did I give my star pendant to Tifa? Because if I didn't, I made the mistake because Star Pendant prevents poison anyways. But yeah, so this is like one of the things where by playing around with it, and honestly, it probably would have been, well, I'm lying. The nice thing is, by equipping it that way, you can still use it in battle, so Cloud can still heal poison, despite the fact that he's wearing it as a poison elemental barrier on his armor. You know, that's another thing with the whole tying materia to, like, skills and stats. That is kind of cool, that I really enjoy. So, I am frozen in time here, as I wonder what is coming up next. In actuality, I have the guide open, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to, you know, make sure I do this boss battle. Because if I recall, this boss battle gave me a bit of trouble. And of course I walk back up into the elevator, which is one of my least favorite things in games, is when you can accidentally, you know, it's like you transition into a room, and if you, you know, you can accidentally go into it again instantly. I hate that. But, so you might be wondering, who exactly was Hojo planning to, like, breed Aerith with, because he doesn't have another ancient? Well, remember that dog we saw earlier? Well, yeah, this is where things get, like, like, everything else in Final Fantasy VII so far has been a little bit, a little bit creepy and a little bit weird, but whatever. But this one is genuinely like dude's messed up, And he's like, yeah, we'll just breed this dogger with this, human-like one. I mean, biologically it shouldn't even work. But then again, maybe ancients are wired differently, and yeah. So here, when this first happened, my first thought was that what happened is, it was, look at that blood splatter there. My first thought was there was, some kind of, like, he would shoot it and the experiment will go wrong and they'd morph into a terrible monster together. That's always my least favorite scheme or whatever in a, when the experiment goes wrong and creates a terrifying monster. That freaks me out. I don't know why. I think it's because it comes a little too close to science. Also, Dogger talks. It comes a little too close to, like, real-world sciencey stuff, and I'm just like, eh. So, okay, so depending on who you send off here, it does affect the values of who goes up and stuff. This guy's name, as far as we know, is Red 13. Now, that's not his real name. And you can give him his real name as his name here, but it would totally ruin any and all sort of meaningful, stuff later on. I lied. It does give us bio. Then, oh my god, I'm so wrong. I'm confused with the cure, not the heal materia. I'm sorry. It does give bio. The thing I was confused with is that I thought Poisona was the attack that, like, causes poison, but it's the healing one. I'm sorry, that's my mistake. So this battle has one big dude with, these little buggies, and it's one of those things where if you don't attack, these guys will, as far as I'm aware, keep reappearing forever. There's no way to get rid of them permanently. And it would be probably a good idea to just use some kind of, all-kill magic to get rid of them all, because then, it'll at least buy you time, because when they're dead, they can't attack you, obviously, even though it heals them pretty much instantly. But of course, you want to focus your efforts on the big dude here, and just keep building up that, that limit break meter, and, use your limit break on him. Don't use limits on the little guys, it's a waste of time. But this battle actually gave me a bit of trouble the first time I did it, mostly just because, as of this point, I ran up all the stairs, and I didn't get any experience, and I was terribly underleveled. I did beat him, but it actually took, it was actually a little bit hard. But, as we can see, Cloud's rocking the hard edge now, which is a much better weapon for him. Except aesthetically. It is a stumpy little thing, and the worst part is, it's not even, like, a good shape. Like, if it was stumpy like that, but, like, square, it'd be fine. But it's, like, at that weird sort of angle, Like, I don't even know how to describe it other than it's sort of angled. Like, it's not evenly designed. And it looks like a sword that got cut at the end. And, like, there should be a bigger sword that comes out of it. But no, it's just what it is. And I paused the game for a second because I was just so scared. So that actually is a thing, of course, as this is the active time battle system. The game will keep playing even if you're in menus, though I'm not sure if you can turn on the wait. Actually, no, you can. You can turn on you can go from active time battle to recommended time battle to wait time battle. And if it's wait, what will happen is when you're in menus and stuff, the enemies will wait, which is really nice, and you want to grab that. But if you want to pause, you need to actually pause, So that's the thing. And I gotta say, I do recommend watching Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged if you haven't. It's a wonderful abridged version of Final Fantasy VII by the Team 4-Star people. And what they do with Red 13 is easily the highlight of it. If you watched at the beginning and didn't care for it, which I could totally see, at least skip ahead to where they meet Red 13. Because their version of Red 13 is absolutely the best. And what I cut out there is terrible party management, because one of the few things in this game that I truly believe should have been fixed in this update, which people have modified to be fixed in updates and stuff, is the fact that when you get party members out of your party, they take all the items with them, their equipment, their materia. So easily the first thing you should do is, it's like in the remake of this game, just make sure that they fix that, and they didn't fix it for this, sadly, but I was really hoping they would. But oh well, it's annoying at worst. It's, whenever you get party members who want to change them, you have to go in, take off all their materia, take off their equipment, because of course, you only really need to buy 3 armors for if you go into a town and there's new armors. You only have to buy 3. You don't have to buy 7. But you can buy 7 if you just want to save the convenience of having to go and reformat on the party. Though I wouldn't recommend that, because it's actually, like, surprisingly, money is more limited in this game than I would have expected. Maybe I'm used to other RPGs where it's not that big of a deal, but in this one for sure, it's like I found myself not having enough money for a lot of things, and actually would have to do money grinding more than level grinding. Level wise, I was pretty okay for this game, but no, there's definitely times where I'm like, I just need to do money grinding. And here we have, I don't know if we've seen this yet, because I actually haven't been paying super close attention. We have Red 13's first limit break, Sled Fang, where he just runs into them with a cool thing. And so Soldier 3rd A, he actually ran out of MP, which is really nice, because it's like, it makes our life easier. But, yeah, so Sleeple here puts enemies to sleep, and honestly, the way the star looks there just reminds me of Super Mario RPG. What it is it's the color and thickness of the star. It's the thickness that Square used for all the attacks in Final Fantasy, Super Mario RPG, and I just look at it, it just brings back good memories, like look at this, look at the thickness of it. It's just thick enough, it's sort of like, when you meet a cute girl and you're like, wow, she's like perfect, because she's just thick enough. What am I saying? I don't even know, man. It's a good thing we're almost done this part. Because also everything after this, also these dudes were smoking weed too. Because everything after this it's pretty much a lot more straightforward. No more puzzles. That's the thing. For me, it's like I'm playing through, and it's like whatever for combat, unless it's a puzzle boss, which there's only really one later who I have to deal with, as far as I recall. But no, for the most part, combat's not the problem. It's the whole puzzle situations, because those are what get me. So this dude just gives you the key card for the 68th floor, and he's like, whatever, I'm out of here, I don't want to deal with it. He runs around in a circle and stuff, and there he goes. See ya, dude. See ya. And I don't think you want to touch the lasers, but I'm not exactly sure. Now, of course, there's stuff around here. I think if you climb up the one way, there's some items there. I turned off, I always screw up which ones I want. So it's like, I just want the speed, but it won't let me. And like, here's a perspective thing. Like, it's under where we have to go, but I don't really see that. Like it looks like it should be in front, right? But it's actually under. So hey. It's PS1. What you gonna do? But I'm actually gonna head back to the save point, because we're gonna be shutting down and saying, see you guys next time for some more Let's Play Final Fantasy VII Blind, where I think it'll be the last, it'll be for sure be the last part of the, Shinra building escape. So thank you all for watching, dudes, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.